Hello guys and girls, and welcome to the next episode of Cities Skylines with me, Biffa. Thank you very much for joining me. Oh my goodness! Oh, she survived! That poor old lady got run over by that truck, but she walked out unscathed. Flipping heck. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. Welcome to episode 50 of SipaGreenTea Citea. We are flying through these episodes, and there is so much going on in this city. I thought, why not have a city tour? Because there's so many things that new subscribers haven't seen. Look at that bus. He almost waited for everybody to cross, then thought, nah, blow it, I'm just going to go. There's so many things that people haven't seen that I want to show to you guys and girls if you're a new subscriber. So I thought we'd have a little tour of the city. And while I was looking around for somewhere to start, I came across this area here, and I found over 1,000 people waiting at this bus stop. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Here it is. There's a lot of people waiting there. I obviously need to go through and adjust my bus routes and things, but let us get back into having a look around the city. So where did it all begin? It all began with this little junction here. This was, let's have a look. Where was the connection to the outside of the city? Oh, I can't remember where the map actually started. I think it was here. It was this road here. And then this bit here, we had this roundabout, which we put in, and we built that way. And this was the first section that I built. We have Cozy Heights and Kent Hills here, and this is all Green City stuff. I wanted to use all the new Green City buildings, and I just think they ended up looking absolutely amazing. I've noticed how some of the green has gone brown, then it sort of grows back again, looking really, really good. But this was always a particularly busy junction here. And it's now actually worked out okay. We've got the Tram Hub over here, sort of coming off this road. The trams go round, can go in the Tram Hub and leave again. But as the city's grown, people just don't care and they drive through everything. So, you know, the traffic's fine. Come on, people. Look after each other. You all live in this city together. I did notice something over here, something new. We have the Chirp Cinema. Let's just see what's on at the Chirp Cinema. Now showing Chirpzilla, Paradoxal Perspective, Colossal Cranium, and Shroomville, which sounds fantastic. So there we go. Got some things going on there. So this was the very first junction that we had, and we built these two areas here. And I wanted to sort of have a feeling of being enclosed down the front here, in the middle here, I should say. And we have these parks. So we've got all the big buildings around the outside on both of these areas. And then we've got these parks hidden down here. We've got schools. We've got a few little shops. And this is all the local produce and all that sort of stuff. And there's lots of ways people can walk through. Let's change my camera to this one. There we go. And then we won't bob up and over the buildings. And I really like the way this sort of turned out. Let's turn around. There we go. Ah! Yeah, getting the right camera mods to show you all of this stuff's going to be interesting. There we go. We get the view. So I like the way this all feels enclosed and built up on either side. And then it's the same if we go to this one over here as well. There we go. We've got a few schools dotted about and lots of paths people can get around. And I really like this start. It started off with... Oh, I put the sunset on as well, just as a special treat as we're doing a city tour. And I really like the way the Green Cities DLC buildings made what would normally be like a normal sort of square building area look really cool with all these different types of buildings on. And then we expanded over this way. We put in it wasn't a university, was it? Institute of Creative Arts. And then we built a nice little cemetery area up here, which has since had problems with the trees. Yeah, there's been a slight fire, but we won't talk about that. There we go. And then we decided to build up and over the hills. So we moved up into this area here. We're going to get a real cool view of the city as the sun goes down, aren't we? Really cool. So this winding road that goes up here, that tram is going to go around the corner. But I tell you what we could do is we could follow this beetle, this buggy, up the hill. There we go. And get a nice view of the... hopefully he doesn't turn off somewhere. But I really like the way this sort of wound up through the hillside, you know, curving and all that sort of thing. But as you got up to the top, you got a real cool view of the city. And then we had, I think, on the left-hand side, just coming up here, we had like a little shopping area. There we go. You can just see it on the left. Just this section here. A nice little local shopping area. And now, I don't know where he's going to go. If he turns left, we'll carry on. No, he's carrying on. up to the top of the hill, and then you're met with this view of the city. Where's he going? Is he going left? Yes, he is. We'll carry on here. And it goes up all the way to the end, over to Dale Park. There we go. And the people that live up here get the best view of the city, I have to say. And as we've started to build across the other side of the river, that's where we were working the last couple of episodes. And then before that, over here with our hub. Yep, you know where we are. The view has just got even better, hasn't it? That's where we ended up next. We built up the top of the hill, and then we decided to build down at the other side. So, is there a car going down that we can follow? Let's see. Anyone coming down? Yeah, there we go. Stop, in the name of the law. I'm commandeering your sedan. You're going to give us a tour of the city. So, here we go. So, we go down the bumpy hill. Bumpy wumpy hill. That's it. We can see what is down here. And this was another sort of... Well, it's really hard following him. Let's not follow him anymore. And we've got this lovely area here called Liz Park. That's right. Here we go. Here's Liz Park. So it started off being sort of a loop. You can see I've sort of looped the road round. Then I added these extra bits here to sort of fill up some space. We do have a cable car. You probably can't see it. We'll come back to that when the sun comes up. But I built this little park in the middle here. Do you know what? I think we might try and speed things up and get to daytime so you can see it a lot better. But we've got in here a Botanical Gardens. Then I decided to build some nice parks at the back. Do you know what? Let's get the sun up. There we go. We can see. So we've got some nice Botanical Gardens here. And I added some more gardens at the back that people can walk around. And a few parks. Really just sort of add a little something. A reason for this to be here. Around this area. That's what I try and do. Whenever I build something, there's a reason for it to be here, to be there. This is for the views. Here we go. Look, you can see the cable car going up the side here. There he goes. Cable car just going up to the top and back down again into where the Botanical Gardens is. Very nice. And then, where did we go after that? I think the next bit we did was around the front along here. So, we built out, remember this is where we started. We built out along here. And then we built this little area here, which is called Redwood Hills. Yes, Redwood Hills. Again, with a nice little park in the centre. I like the built up around the outside, low down in the middle, looking down over a park sort of feel. Again, it just adds some depth. And you sort of feel like you're being welcomed into the area where you come off the highway here, off the motorway. And you feel like, oh, there's a few shops, and then you can sort of spread out into the living area that's round about. But that was Redwood Hills. And then we just sort of built up some of these areas next to it, joined them up, just so people have got as many different ways as possible to get from one place to another. That's the way I like to do it. And then we connected this up through here as well, which doesn't get too busy, but again, it's just another way for people to walk, you know, add paths in wherever you can. It's something I forget a lot. Sometimes I remember it and we'll have an episode where I'm putting paths everywhere. Other times I'll forget. But paths are fantastic. They really help people get about. And people will walk a long way for lots of different things. Like they're probably walking through here to the schools, to the shops, and all that sort of lovely stuff. So there we go. So that was that area there. That is basically all of this first section we did. I put this junction at the end here, which I really love. It sort of starts here. It's got these 2 points, and then it's got that little roundabout, and that's the junction. And then we thought, you know, it was an interesting shape that we could build off. And we did put a train station over here and build this up a little bit. This will probably be more expansion over here at some point. This is just a load of parks I've been looking at. Don't worry about that. They're not doing anything. So then we decided to expand this section in here. I'm probably not getting all this in the right order. Oh, didn't we do this next with all of our industry? This was a forestry area, wasn't it? Here, if I remember correctly. Let's have a look at our resources. Yes, that's right. So we decided to put in this forestry area here, where the traffic is probably the worst in the whole city. But, you know, sometimes that's the way it goes. But we do have a cargo train that sort of goes around here. If we look, it goes along here, splits off there, carries on round, splits off there. So passengers can actually use this line as well. And this goes, if I remember, all it one way. Like that. Yes, it does. It goes one way, all the way round here, and then sort of goes round again in a big circle, and then it splits off to different places. So all the cargo from here can be taken over to this cargo hub, another area we're going to work on at some point in the future. But I quite like this. I like the way it looks. Even though it's not the best traffic, I do like it. And there's lots of different ways people can get to work here. We have... Let's have a look. We've obviously got the passenger train that comes along here. Or we'll come to that section in a minute. I thought we had trams. Yeah, there we go. So we've got trams that come along from the area we first spoke about here. There we go. That's where all those people are waiting. So I bet they've walked from here and they're getting the trams and the buses all the way down here, all the way into this forestry area to work. That's probably what they're doing. And then in between, we've sort of filled out a few other spots. I wanted somewhere for a university. So we've got this area here. We've got the Redwood Technology Institute. Does this not have a name, this area? This darn park thing that never blooming gets road access. Yeah, you're off. You're banned. Fed up with you. So I sort of sunk this area down into here and almost had it as like a sunken area with this hill on the top with the university. And then put a little pond in, made some little parks myself. I think this is actually... Let's not delete that. Yeah, that's actually the Bird and Bee Haven, which I think looks really nice. And we have a tram that goes around that as well, if I remember correctly, or do we not? Maybe we did, but we don't anymore. Well, there we go. But plenty of paths again. People can walk in from all sorts of different areas to come and enjoy this. But I love the way it's sort of sunk down. Yeah. And then a nice little homemade park over here, with this piece of land sticking up like that for absolutely no reason at all. Why the heck is that doing that? I don't... Yeah, look. It's sort of done something weird here. Something is going on there. We shall not worry about that right now. Weird, weird. And then like this little section here. It's like I want to put this shop in, the Grand Mall. So I thought, well, to put it here, you need car parks, you need a road, then you need some buildings around it. And it just sort of turns into its own little separate section. And then you join it up, get some paths in there, get some transport in there. That's generally how my mind works with things. Put something in for a reason, build around it, add the infrastructure, link it into everything else, and then Bob's your uncle. What did we do after that? Well, there's this area along the front. Oh, yeah, there was the Posh Mall, wasn't there? That's right. Again, the Posh Mall. Probably the Posh Mall should have gone there and the Grand Mall should have come here. But I think that one looks posher than this one, so that's just the way I've gone. Before we get to the beachfront, we've got this IT industry here. I think the IT industry buildings are just fantastic. I absolutely love the way they're so high and tall and really add something nice looking. I knew there was a tram. There it is, look. It goes around the outside of the road, doesn't it? Of course it does. There is a tram that runs around the university there. Yes, really adds something, you know, some height, which is what you want in a city. And then we've got a little industrial area here. So we've got our solar updraft tower, which it's not solar power. Lots of people commenting about that. Oh, it doesn't work at night. It's a solar updraft tower. The heating of the air drags it up through the tower, spins some turbines, makes some power. So that's how that works. And then some of these thermal energy, geothermal power plants, beg your pardon, in this little area here. But I thought as well, we'll make this nice. Trees, a park, you know, just taking some time to make an area look nice. I'll try and do that as much as I can. And then we've got like a little park. I've just sort of popped in the middle here. Is that a actual park? Yeah, Lungs of the City. Just to try and break it up. So it's industry, but then it's got other stuff going on here as well. Then we move into this section. I really wanted to use this central park. I love it. We'll probably use it again somewhere else. But I love the amphitheatre that it adds. This sort of big plaza area in the middle. And the little park, a fountain. And that is just something to build around. I love it. It's got this road built in along here. So the road that I've got going around the outside had to go underneath that. But it just really adds some nice detail. A couple of underpasses. And that's nice. And again, the green cities built around the outside with probably some shops and things popped in here and there. I think that nicely filled that space. Looks really good. Looks really good. So that's pretty much all of that, apart from the beachfront area. I really enjoy building this. And this is where I sort of first started using the low, smaller residential houses on the front and then the larger ones behind. So again, you get this feeling of height behind. It sort of draws your eye up. You might see the stuff on the front. It draws your eye up, draws your eye into the city. And again, these gravel roads along the front, and then you get the beach down here. I need to do a bit more work to pull out this beachfront a little bit more. I think that looks really nice. That looks like a helicopter landing pad. That'd be bad, having your lunch on the beach and a helicopter comes and lands on you. But I like this. I like this area a lot. And then we sort of built up behind here as well. We've got the library. Yeah, the Grand Library coming off of this beach road up here. I think there's a university around the back here. Yeah, what have we got there? Institute of Creative Arts, yeah, high school, and then a community school there. Yeah, that's right. Again, with lots of paths connecting things. And then the Grand Library, and then this little sub-road. We've still got a little bit of space we could work on there. Maybe some more parks and things. Got this big path going through here. Probably could do with some more path connections there to help people walk to work. But as it stands at the moment, not too bad. And then later on in our series, we of course added our ferry loop, which sort of goes around here, goes all the way down there and back again. Every time we add a new area in, that will be expanded to take in the new areas. So that was the first sort of area of the city, and then we started expanding out to the areas around. I can't remember the exact order we did all of these in, but we'll see as we go. Very quick sip of tea. By the way, I saw the comments in the last episode about the airport. I keep thinking this is the international airport. It isn't. We will be adding that in soon, don't worry. So I wanted to have a big transport hub, and that is basically what we've got here. We've got the airport here. We've got the big multi-platform end station here, which leads all over the place. We've got a monorail next to it. We've big monorail bus hub. We've got blimps next to it. We've got bus. We've got trams. I think this is the monorail, tram, bus, everything thing. There we go. Yep. There's monorails. There's the tram. I wanted everything in this section here. And then that links to all sorts of parts of the city. I mean, this looks all a bit of a mess, but once it's all built in, there's all reasons for everything here. So the train loops around here one way, but then it has to come off to go to the cargo down here. And then it can go back again, and then back onto the one-way system. This cargo line comes over here to here. So we've got another cargo line. So our cargo and our passengers are pretty much separate lines, apart from this loop, because there's cargo and passengers need to get there as well. Apart from that, they all go to different places. There's a line here that comes and goes all the way round the outside, so what became our Hyperloop. There's a connection that goes across the bridge, across to the other side. There's ones over there. We've got this cargo sort of internal, external hub that I like to use. Some people say, you don't need it. But I like to keep my external trains, particularly the cargo ones, separate from the internal trains. So basically the idea is here, this is my external line. So obviously there could be anything on there, passengers and cargo. The cargo comes in here, drops off its cargo. The trucks come out, they go all the way around, load it onto there, and then you get a cargo train that will come internally. And then, of course, that works both directions. And that will then hook up with our cargo network. In this area here, to have a reason for all of this, of course, if you've got multi-platform end stations and airports, you know, people want to come and see stuff. What's that that's caught fire over there? Fire always catches my eye. Oh dear. Some of the farms are going up in flames. Not very good. So we added in quite a few different things here for people to come and see. We've got Grand Central Terminal. I think that's a building. Transport Tower. We've got the Opera House. We've got the Drosa Villa Stadium. Parc de Prince. The Bird's Nest Stadium. We've got this multi-part stadium, which was okay, but it's got weird rows that go through the middle, and it doesn't light up, which is a bit of a shame. So then building all of this, you need the monorail to come over there. So we've got the monorail that goes in, as you can see. We probably have buses that go around here, but don't don't quote me on it. How many people have got waiting here? Bit hard to see. Loads of people using the blimps. Very good. But I like the way they can switch from one sort of thing to another. So if anybody wants to get from here to here, they have to come through this station here. Does that say a lot of passengers? 1,353 passengers so far this week. Very good. What else have we got in here? So I like this stadium a lot. Again, we've added some little parks and things as we've gone along. What's this one? The Statue of Shopping. There we go. And then put some little parks alongside it. Looks very nice. That's a particular building, isn't it? The Mall of Moderation, as opposed to the Posh Mall. Could do with putting some trees and parks in here. The Drosa Villa Stadium. I like this one because it sort of goes off at an angle. I think that looks nice. The Parc des Princes, very good. We've got a cargo terminal right behind it, but there we go. It's an industrial part of the city as well. But all of these, there's a lot of shops and things in there which need their cargo. But then we added this sort of, you know, this sort of way leading in. So you've got lots of parking for the stadium, a nice walkway that leads into this big stadium. This has got all sorts of parks around it as well, and trees that we added. There we go. Just anything that I can do to make an area look nice. I've missed that bit there. I will do my best to do so. But that is our big transport hub area. Then we sort of spread out to this part of the city, which may be slightly more familiar to you. We needed a big boost of people, and we're probably going to do something similar to this again. So we've got our monorail that comes down here that hooks up all the way over here. And I started doing these nice little sunken roundabouts. Roundabout, what would you call that in America? There's probably another word for that you would use. With water in the middle, which is great for your helicopter fire pilots. No, helicopter, your firefighter helicopter pilots. Yeah, you know what I mean. Come and get the water from there. We've got a monorail about. We've had roundabouts, monorail about. We've got a train about here somewhere. Where's that? I'm sure we've got one here somewhere. We've got tram about. We've got all sorts in this city. Have I not done a train about? Yeah, there we go. Oh, it turned up being a train junction as opposed to a train about. So we've done that before. But I like the abouts. I'll try and do lots of them. But this is just a big area with lots of people in, lots of different squares and heights and islands and all sorts of things going on in here with access via the monorails. But it was just a good way of getting a lot of people to move into the city. Are we over 100,000 yet? Flipping still not over 100,000. But we need to do something like this again to really build up. I'm just looking at this building here. That is one cool looking building, this one. What's it called? Gold Woman Investments. Well done. Excellent looking building. But again, there's a mixture of the green cities, the normal stuff, the high and the low. Here we go, like down here. Oh, there's another one there. Really adds to the look of it. I like it. And then you've got a train station over here. Oh, and the prison. How could we forget? Up the winding road over here. Up the hill. Past some... what is that? Is that an incineration plant? Yeah. Who cares about that? They're in prison. Then we got our wall. Stop. Do not enter until instructed. Your vehicle may be searched. And up the top here we have our prison. They do have a pretty good view of the city. So, you know, even though they're locked away, they're also here as a warning. So everybody else can look at them and say, if I'm naughty, beyond a reasonable doubt, I will be put into this prison. We've got our tower here. That's actually a fire watchtower, I believe. Yes, it is. But I think that looks really good as a watchtower for a prison. We put that up there, got fences all around it as well. So there we go. We've got our, our prison with a view of the city. What did we call that in the end? Aspen Prison. Oh, well, there we go. Didn't have a particular name. So that was that area there. And then we needed more industry. So over here we had a nice area that we could build a farming industry in. So I used these sort of slower roads, but I think they really fit in with the colour scheme. The yellow, and oh my goodness, there's like the biggest fire ever known to man. There's 5... We've got the helicopters here working on it as well. Excellent. And we've got this down here. So hooked up to our cargo area, this cargo train terminal. Particularly for these guys. But they also have the ability now, if they wish, to bring it down to the front here. So some of them seem to do that. If they're over here, they'll possibly come down that road. Yeah, we can see them going down there. But I like this. And to go along with that and sort of to keep it on the lower, flat down, you know, lower level... We had this nice residential area, Pleasance and Brook districts. And I really like the way these looked. Again, I went for the slower sort of gravel style roads. These one here, 2-lane gravel roads. And went for these buildings here, these self-sufficient. That was a funny noise. These self-sufficient style buildings. And that just really looks nice. I like the way that's turned out. Particularly when you start putting these schools in, the new green DLC schools. looks really, really nice. We've got a high school over there. And then we've got like a few little homemade parks in the middle as well. Actually, these are probably not homemade parks. No, tropical gardens, dog park. Yeah, there we go. But put them all together and you get like a homemade park right in the centre. I like that. A few offices down the middle, just because I like spattering those around. And then I did a similar thing over here, but instead we went for the normal style. What are these ones here? These are just normal ones, aren't they? Not entirely sure. Oh, European suburbia. There we go. That's why they look different. This was the European suburbia style houses, which I like those. It just made it different from this one over here. It's almost like a different building contractor has said, yeah, we're going to build over here. And he's gone with these instead. Got a nice big wiggly main road. Same over here. But I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Need to get some more water in the middle of these roundabouts, don't we? And then we need the built-up area again. So we've got this one here. And again, it was here for a reason. We had the expo centre that we wanted to put in. And we sort of made a bit of parking and a park to go around that. And then I decided to sort of keep it all nice and straight and square. Put a, you know, it's not really a roundabout, two-way road in the middle, but something a little bit different. Where are you all walking to? Suddenly see a load of people walking. I'm wondering where they're going. Is there like a... There's a path in there. Are they all going to go up there? Nope. They're going to keep it on walking. Oh, and then the game's going to save. There we go. It's back again. What is this here? Is this... Oh, these are just normal parks, aren't they? Normal small parks. But you start putting them together, more than one, and it sort of really builds up an area nicely, making it look like it's got lots of lovely parks in. And of course you can add paths to these as well, so that's good. So I do, even though there's not much in this area, I like that one. I think that's good. Then we'll come back to that. So we've got these areas over here, which we did later. We'll come back to those. Then we decided to go across the river. So just to get your idea where we are, that's our main transport hub. This is where we started. And across the river over there, we've been building up these areas. So we did this one quite a few episodes ago now. This is the Cypress Heights district. And again, it's set on a sloping up sort of hill area there, in a nice bay. So we've done the same thing. We've got the low-down residential at the front. We've got our ferry attachments. You know what I mean? Ferries here. Slightly higher houses. Bit of trees along here. And then it builds up the further back it goes. And we've got another multi... Is that the multi... Oh, that isn't an end one. I've just used the normal one. Okay, that's fine. Still fits in. And these lead all over the place. So there's a rail that comes to here. It goes all the way along here. All the way around there. Over this bridge, we've actually got two rails. Goes all the way down here. And all the way into our massive transport area. Which is good. So we've got trains coming backwards and forwards for that. There we go. And we've got our aquarium. Yep, we've got the aquarium in here. So again, some parking, some lower down houses. That thing again. Low down in the middle, higher up around the outside. You know, I like that. You can look down into what's going on inside. Parks dotted around. And again here, low down, built up at the back. And then we've got sort of the bayfront all along here, which is really cool. And these areas, someone's just... disappeared in a puff of smoke. Did you see that? Rewind 10 seconds and you'll see that building there disappeared in a puff of smoke. I love it. But they can get anywhere they want with the... Did I do counterclockwise here? I think I've only done counterclockwise and not clockwise. I meant to do two ways here, but I've only done one way. I'll have a look at that another time. But if they want to come across here, go to the university, use the amenities, the shops, the shopping mall, they easily can. We have the blimps that come backwards and forwards. There we go, land in here. And we have the train. So I do get people asking, how do I get houses and businesses and things like that to upgrade? What do you do to get the buildings to upgrade? Just give them everything. Give them everything. They want transport... of all different sorts. Bus routes are great. I should do more bus routes. I'd get more buildings upgrading and probably easily hit 100,000. Make it easy for them to get to the services. So police station, fire station, schools, rubbish collection, all that sort of thing. As long as there isn't a downside to them, like sticking a big incineration plant in the middle, it will give them happiness and they will upgrade. That's how it all works. And then we've done a similar thing over here, but just wanted to make it different rather than copy that. So Oh, look, we've had a fire and it looks rubbish in the middle, but we've got we've got these tiered gardens here. Oh, that's a shame. So I thought if we make a centerpiece of something like this, the business park, you know, loop thing. Also locomotive, what's it called? Locomotive halls and the train station. We've gone for a different style train station. That is the Joax 2-track train station. But I like the way this one looks. And it just sort of provides a centerpiece along with our sort of sunken river, no, sunken pond, that's what I'm looking for in this area here. That could probably come up a little bit higher, but there we go. And what else have we got? What's this? Oh, and a Theatre of Wonders. Is there something this side? What's that there? And the Modern Art Museum. There we go. So it's got reasons for being here. And this is a leisure area, if I remember correctly. Or tourism. One or the other. You know what I mean. And then the same sort of trick. Low at the front, built up. And then it goes up the hill. And it draws your eye up. And the most recent episode or two, we were working on this. We did Meteor Park up here, top of the hill. I really liked how this has turned out with our tram route around it. That is really, really cool. I like that. And then just some districts where people can live, some parks dotted around, places they can work. These are good. These are a new edition I've downloaded. The brick planters. There's all sorts of different sizes. They're a bit odd if the terrain isn't totally flat they're going on. Which you may have seen lower down over here. But as these, there we go, look, they sort of stick out. But as they all stick out in a row, normally when there isn't dead trees around it, they look very nice. But there we go, we've been sort of working along the front there. Our next big residential area will probably be, I might just fill up all of this. We just need a big residential area. Just out of interest, wrong button, let's have a quick look at that. Yeah, so we could have a forestry industry, big residential, and that would go together nicely, wouldn't it? Very good. And then the last thing we did, have I missed any areas? I don't think I have. I've covered this one, yeah. Covered that, covered all of that, yeah. So the last one that we worked on was Plenitude Park District. Did I actually name the area that? No, it's called King Hills, but this is Plenitude, what's it called? The Cathedral of Plenitude. There we go. I want to say Plentitude, but it's Plenitude. Well, this is our Hyperloop line you can see here. Nice little junction for some trains to get onto the Hyperloop outside line. But I like this. Again, trying to get lots of people to move in, but making it nice. So lots of curvy roads. Grids have their place sometimes. Like we've got a grid. We've got a grid around here. You know, straight. Not a grid, but you know what I mean. Straight lines. But then sometimes you just want wiggly lines. That is how most cities look. Wiggly. And then a nice little park around this as well to sort of add something to it. This cathedral is nice on its own, but put some parks around it and it really becomes a nice centerpiece for this roundabout that we've got going on here. And I really like the way that looks. Probably could do with a little train station somewhere. If I could sort of put a bypass line in, although they do have access to this one here. There's a walkway here that goes underneath, goes over there, and I've also got it coming up here. So if they want to, they can walk through there, and there's like a T-junction here, and it comes out here, and they can get onto the train station. And like I said before, people will walk a long way. So that is... I mean, there's a lot of other little bits and pieces in the city that I could show you, but that is sort of the main overview of SipaGreenTea Citea as it stands at the moment. So what have we got coming up in the future? So what have we got coming up for SipaGreenTea Citea in the next 50 episodes? Well, more, bigger and better stuff. I saw an excellent comment in the last video saying, why don't you have like a French style area using I think there's European buildings that you can sort of do that look like that, but we've got the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe. You could put that all into an area and really theme it nicely with some nice Parisian, walkways and all sorts of stuff. So maybe we'll try and do something like that. That is definitely on my list. We've got the international airport is another idea. So what I want to try and do is, as I've said, have reasons for anything more that I build. So we've got a lot of monuments to go through that we want to have in their own specific built areas. But if you've got ideas for themes, anything like that, let me know in the comments below. Not a theme where I'd have to go and download 1,000 assets. I try and keep my assets to a minimum because assets and mods always cause all sorts of problems. But, something we could do within the game, maybe 1 or 2 little assets here and there, I don't mind that. For those of you that always ask what mods do I use, I do not have a mod list. It's not easy to put together a mod list. It would take me absolutely flipping ages, so I haven't done it. Check out episode 1 on this playlist for this series, and I go through the main mods that I use, and I've not really added much after that, so that will help you out. But I'm really looking forward to see what's going to come up next. Thank you all for your support as well. It's because of your ideas, your help, your support that SipaGreenTea Citea has got to the point that it is. We are going to get over 100,000. Yes, we are. I'm really looking forward to that. Be sure to hit the big B with a T stain to subscribe to be here as we continue on. I need another sip of tea, don't I? Good grief. There's all this snow we're getting over here, making me quick. Yes. Be here for the next 50 episodes, and I'll be back tomorrow with episode 51 of Cities Skyline Green Cities. Thank you for watching. Take care.